Alright, so in this video we are going to see method overloading and method overriding in Python. Okay, so let's start with method overloading. Okay, so what is method overloading? Alright, so whenever there are some method having similar name but the number of their parameters or the type of their parameters are different from each other, then it is method overloading. What I said is, like, suppose we have two method and these both two methods have the same name, but the number or the type of argument that these two methods have are different from each other, then it is method overloading. Now the question arises, which method will be compiled, which method we will take. So it is decided when we pass the arguments. The arguments will be checked that these arguments matched with which method, and that method will be executed. So that is how method overloading works. But the thing is, in Python we don't have method overloading, but still we can achieve it by manipulating the methods. So we can achieve method overloading, but in a like traditional way uh, it is not here in Python. So we will see that now, but before seeing that in Python, we will see how the normal method overloading works. So for that we have opened this C++ compiler here, the online one. So here we have written a class named shape, and it has two method. We can see add method having two arguments or two parameters a and b, and then we have again another method having the same name and it has three parameters a b c, and these are adding the parameters. So let me comment first this line. Okay, so if we run this, we can see here, okay, it is error. Okay, yeah. Okay, so if we run this program, we can see here the output is 15 here. So when we are writing s dot calling this add method having 5 and 10 inside it, we are calling this method which is returning 5 plus 10 15. And suppose if we call the another method having three parameters, then we can see it is giving us 30. So it is working in both the method. It is like deciding on the basis of the parameters we have passed which add method to call. So like this normal method overloading works. But in Python, this is not allowed, or this is not possible. So we will see here. Okay, so let's first see how that normal method overloading does not work in Python. So let me just quickly create the method with the same name add, and it will be having two parameters a and b, and what we will do is we will add this a and b. So it will print what? It will print a and b. Now again, let's have another method, another functional method with the same name, and we will give here c, and we will add here c. All right, now if we call add method, let's call add and let's pass here 5 and 5. So it should print 10, right? It should print right, but it will not print 5, it will not print 10, because it is asking for missing one required positional argument c. So when we write add 5 comma 5, we wanted to call this one, but we are not able to call this one. It is looking for this one, and this second method having the same name, what it is doing, it is overwriting this method. So we can see here that it is not this method overloading. The normal method overloading does not work in Python, and if I run this now, we can see here it will work perfectly. But if I will not run it, it will not work. But in our that C++ compiler, we saw that it was working in both the cases, right? So that's how this method overloading the traditional way, it does not work in our Python. So it will show as error. So okay, so now let's see how we can achieve this. Okay, so we can achieve this, but we need to manipulate these methods. So I mean we can do it in n number of ways, and I was able to find or think only of 3. So we will see that here. So let me just create class shape, and this class shape will be having one method called addition. So it will be having one method called addition, and it will be having 3 parameters a, b and c. Now our objective is to make this method able to add 2 number of arguments also, or 3 numbers of arguments also. So what we can do is I will make 1 as 0, is equal to 0. So what we can do here now is it will print sum is a plus b plus c. And now if we run this, so let me create a object s is equal to shape, and it will call s dot add. Okay, now if I pass here 5 and 5, so what it should print? It should print 10, and it will work in this case. So it is printing 10. Again, if I pass it here one more, let's say 10, so it will print 20. So what we wanted to achieve, it is possible in this example. And so this is a one way. Again we can do the same program or the same idea in different ways also. So let me apply that also, or show that also. Again we have created a shape class, we are making an add. Okay, so now what we can do here is, okay, let me write a is equal to none, b equal to none, and c equal to none. All right, now okay, that none means there is no value. That none is not equal to 0. Okay, none is not, it is not like c equal to 0. It is like null means, I mean it is none, and none means there is no value. So okay, so now what we can do here is for this method to work with 2 parameters or 3 parameters, what we can do is we can check. Okay, we can check if a not equal to null and b not equal to null and c not equal to null, then what it will do? Then it will print the sum. Sum is, it will print a plus b plus c. But what if we pass here all and it is showing me error? What? Okay, I have to write here none, not null. That's why. Okay, but what if we pass only 2 arguments? Then it will check if a is not equal to null, okay, none, and b not equal to none. All right. So what it will do? It will print a plus b. Alright, so it should work. Let's test this. Let's create a object shape, and let's call this add method. Add method with what? Add method with 2. Let's pass here first 2 parameters, 5, 5. Let me clear this old. Okay, if we run this, we can see here the sum is 10, and if we add one more here, it will show us 20. So this is also a way, this is also a way, this is also a way. But what happen if we want to add like more than 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers? So what we can do here is we can achieve that also, and we are what we are doing here method overloading only. I mean we are manipulating this method. So like this we can do, like there is one more way is we can here do with the help of ARGS. ARGS. So what this do is it will take these arguments, it will take n numbers, I mean it will take any numbers of arguments and it will store them as a tuple and then we can add them. So what we can do here is we have wrote this, now we need to add this, right? So how we can add this? So we can add this like it will having a tuple, okay? So we need to add this. So how we will add this? Okay, so we will create a for loop for I in ARGS, and we will take a result, and that result will take result plus ARGS. And again, first of all, we need to set this result as 0. Okay, now if we print here, print sum is result. Okay, so will it work? Yeah, it should work. So let me clear the old, and we can see the values also. Let print the values also. Print the values were ARGS. Okay, so if we run this now, we can see here it is calling an error. And why it is calling, it is showing us an error? Why it is showing us an unsupported operand type for plus? Why it shows error in ARGS? Okay, here I have to write what? We have to write here I. I mean this I will for I in ARGS, first value 5, second value 5, then third value 10. So like this. Now if we run this, let me clear this one first. Let me clear this. Okay, now if we run this, we can see that sum is 20 and the values were 5, 5, 10. So this is also we can achieve this method overloading. Let me pass one more, like let's say 100. So it will print 120 and it will show us like. So what we are doing here, we are achieving this method overloading. We are just applying it anyhow. So that is how we can achieve this method overloading in Python. But in a normal way, it is not available in Python. So this is all about method overloading. Okay, and now let's see method overriding. Okay, so what is method overriding? See, if you remember, I showed you in that previous here, what I showed you here, like when we created a method like addition like this. Let me create it first. FAP and was done. Okay. Okay, so in this example, what we had seen here is if we run this, it will show us an error, we know, because it was looking for, here it is showing that C is needed, it is looking for this method. So what here happening is this second add method, it is overwriting. Let me show, it is overwriting that method. But now we are going to see method overriding. Now we are going to see overriding. So what is the difference? See, both are same only, okay? But overriding, we use the term overriding when there is inheritance like things. Otherwise, we will use the normal word overwriting. So that's the difference. Otherwise, both are same. Okay, so let's come to the method overriding. So what is overriding is, what is method overriding? In this method overriding, there will be a superclass that will be having a method, and there will be a subclass which is inherited from the superclass, and that subclass will also have that same method, with that same method as of the parent class. And what will happen here is, this children class method, it will override this parent class method. We will see that in example here. So let me just create a class, called square. And what we can do here is, we can do the area. Okay, so def area of the square is what it will have. We need to pass here something, right? We need to pass here, let's say, side A. And what it will print, it will print area of the square is what is A multiplied by A. That's the thing. So this is for the square class. Now let's create another class called circle, and that circle will inherited from square class. Okay, now let's create the same method having the same name, area, and it will be having what? It will be having radius. Okay, or r, we can say, whatever. Now it will print area of the circle is what is the area of the circle? Is 2 pi r square, right? Pi r square. So 3.14 pi r square multiplied by 2 times radius. So let me write here r only, r into r, and let me change this to r. Okay, so this is the thing. All right, yeah. Now if we create an object of the class circle, okay, and if we call the area method of the circle, or if we call the area method, and if we pass here, let's say, 5 as a radius, so what it will print? See, it will, when we will write object dot that method name, it is looking in itself in the subclass, and if it is finding it, it will print this one, it will access this one, and it will printing 78.5. And it is not accessing this area. Why? See, it is not accessing the area of the parent, because here this overriding is happening. This area, this method is, the method of this subclass is overriding the method of the parent class. And here how this method overriding happens. But you know, if I change the name here like area circle, and if we call this same method like this, then it will call this area method of the square class. So we can see that the answer is 25. But if the names are same, then the subclass method will override the method of the parent class. So this is the method overriding. And we can also call this one also using the super method. So we can also call this like super, using super method like this. Super means it will go to the parent class. And if we write area, and we need to pass here, let's say 6 is the sides of the square. And now if we write this statement area, c dot area dot 5, so what it will happen? It will go for the 78.5 of the circle first, then it will call the area of this square, which is 36. You can see here. So that's what happening here. But if this line is not here, so it is overriding only if it finds this area. So I hope you are getting what is happening here, and this is method overriding. And we have covered this method overriding in one more video with the inheritance and the MRO also. That will be more clear. I will just suggest you to check that video. I will put that link in the description, or here I will show it. So that's the thing with the method overloading and method overriding. So if there is any doubt, you please write it in the comment. I will try to find out an answer, or you can try it by yourself also. So thank you.